Welcome to another episode of Let Me Learn Ya, and today we are going to be talking about how to spot BS in health experts and professionals. There are tons of memes about how contradictory nutritional recommendations are, about how we're constantly flip-flopping, but if you guys think y'all are confused, think about me, okay? Can we all stop being selfish and think about me for once? I am always knee-deep in the research and all the commentary and all the contradicting information and the arguments between health experts. I mean, I'm just sitting here going, what? And the problem is that as much as I would like to tell you, just listen to the experts. Listen to the experts and ignore the influencers and all the people who are non-experts. I can't, because there are experts who are bat poop nutso. Health professionals and health experts do more damage than influencers could ever do because people trust them more. And yes, probably 8 to 9 out of 10 times, an expert will know more about their field than someone who is not an expert in that field. But there are many times that those experts are influenced by the very real human issues of greed and or bias, and they talk out of their booty holes. Because I'm, as I mentioned, knee-deep in the crap, I have developed methods on how to sniff out the BS. And today I'm going to share with you my 4 red flags of when an expert's gone loony-toony, and when you should have a little alert that goes off that goes, should I listen to this person? Should I double check what they're saying? Stay tuned. My 4 red flags are: if they cherry pick studies, use animal models, cellular models, or human studies that are extremely tiny and very non-diverse; if they purposely or accidentally misinterpret the results of a study that they're using to make sweeping generalizations to humans and large populations; do they use emotionally charged language to incite fear in you? And most important, because this one will knock out probably 99% of all health professionals that are kind of wonky and not very trustworthy, are they selling you something that depends on you believing what they have to say? So now that you know the red flags, let's play a little game together called Spot the BS with Dr. Hyman. We're going to watch a couple clips from one of his TikTok videos that I actually made a TikTok about in response, and we're going to see if you can spot the red flags, starting with this clip.
And there's one profound study done by my friend David Ludwig at Harvard, where he took a group of overweight young guys, kids, and he gave them 3 different breakfasts.
Some of these red flags you wouldn't know about unless you checked what he said, which is what I did, because he always puts off red flags for me, so I'm always checking what he says. So if you don't guess correctly on some of these, do not beat yourself up. After a while of you practicing with this, you will start doing what I do, and you will find out the truth. So his first red flag is that he is citing a teeny tiny, extremely non-diverse study. How do I know this? Because he mentioned the name of his friend and he described the study. It is from 1995. So it's almost 20 years old, first of all. Why is he citing a study that's so old? 20 years might not seem old, but in the science world, it is. We are constantly evolving, changing, getting better science. If this is such a known thing, why did he not cite a more recent study? There should be many studies about this backing up this study. This study was conducted on 12 teenage boys with obesity. On no planet anywhere would that ever be considered a large enough or a diverse enough sample to then interpret to every single person on this planet, which is exactly what Dr. Hyman is doing in this TikTok video. All we know is that we observed this thing to happen in 12 teenage boys with obesity. That's it. I've talked about small sample sizes before. If you want more information on that, check out my video on the glycemic index and how I rip that sucker apart. This sample size is so small, it wouldn't reveal any outliers that may be completely skewing the data, for instance. It's just less accurate. It's not good. Okay, which red flag is he exhibiting here?
Oatmeal group not only had higher levels of insulin, cortisol, adrenaline, which it actually made these kids hungrier, and they ate 81% more food than the omelet group. Remember, they eat the same calories of omelet, oatmeal, or steel-cut oats. The steel-cut oats was better, but they still ate 50% more food than the omelet group.
He reported the results and the study in general in a misleading and inaccurate way. The way he describes this study, it sounds like it's all about, are carbs bad for breakfast versus fat and protein? That's not what the study was about. They compared the effects of instant oatmeal, steel-cut oatmeal, and an omelet on the children's blood sugar, their insulin, various biomarkers, and how it affected how much they ate throughout the day. My observations were that they were looking at how degree of processing on a food affects how a child eats throughout the day. Now, there are numerous problems with this study, but that's a story for another time. Dr. H did admit that the steel-cut oats weren't as bad as the instant oats, but he made the statement that the children ate 50% more than the omelet group when they had steel-cut oats. That's not true. So what were the actual results of this study? Yes, they observed that the teens ate 81% more calories when they had the instant oatmeal when compared to the omelet group. Researchers reported that the instant oatmeal group ate 52% more than the steel-cut group. So he read it wrong either purposely or accidentally. And this just supports what other studies have shown, that the more processed a food is, the more of an impact it has on your blood sugar, the less it keeps you full because you digest it quickly. Now, it is correct that epinephrine, aka adrenaline, was increased in the instant oatmeal group, but the way that he uses this to push his agenda leads to the next red flag.
Not only had higher levels of insulin, cortisol, adrenaline, which is the stress hormone, so eating oatmeal literally was like being chased by a tiger in your body. Your body didn't know the difference. You have starch or sugar in the morning, whether it's a muffin, a bagel, oatmeal, French toast, pancakes, fruit smoothie, whatever people are eating. It's the worst thing you could do. You want to start your day with protein and fat.
Dr. Hyman uses emotionally charged language to incite fear in you. It's like being chased like a tiger, you guys. Eating carbs is the absolute worst possible thing you can do to your body. Worse than, I don't know, smoking constantly, drinking alcohol every day, being a pro football player. It instantly terrifies you because you don't want to cause any damage to your body. You especially don't want to be doing that to the people that you love and care about, like your family members and your children. So he grabs you and freaks you out to get you to A, listen to him, and B, lead to the next red flag. But we'll talk about that in a second. He backs this statement by claiming that adrenaline was increased in the instant oatmeal group. Every hormone and everything in our body usually has multiple jobs. When you hear about insulin, you probably immediately think about blood sugar. But insulin actually has, I believe, hundreds of other different functions and jobs that it does. For instance, without insulin, you wouldn't have any muscle growth. Period. Adrenaline is one of those things. We associate it with fight or flight, and that's true. When we freak out about something, adrenaline is increased because it plays a role in multiple different things to help you survive an attack. And one of those things is raising blood sugar so that all your cells have the energy that they need to function when you gotta kick some tail or you gotta hightail it out of there. So here's what's interesting about the instant oatmeal. Instant oatmeal is the most processed form of oatmeal. Therefore, it takes your body less time to digest it, break down those carbohydrates, and release them into your bloodstream, which means those carbohydrates are not gradually released into your bloodstream. They're just like, it's not as extreme as that. It's not as extreme as like drinking a Coke, but your blood sugar spikes. Your body's response to that is to release insulin to get that blood sugar down. And if that blood sugar drops drastically enough to start sending off alerts in the body of, uh-oh, blood sugar's getting low, guess what happens? Adrenaline's released, because adrenaline yells at the liver and is like, hey man, we don't have enough sugar in the blood right now to fuel all these cells in case a tiger comes along. It just dropped a bit too low. So can you get on it and start producing some glucose? So it makes sense in the way that the body functions that if you eat a meal that spikes your blood sugar and then drops it, that adrenaline is going to be higher in that case. Am I defending the instant oatmeal? No. What I'm saying is that instant oatmeal did not cause you stress and make your body freak out to the point where it's like you're being chased by a tiger, which is how Dr. Hyman describes it. It is a completely natural response of your body to blood sugar going up and then dropping. So why would somebody ever want to make people feel terrified about carbohydrates and oatmeal and things like that? Well, that leads to red flag number 4. He sells a ton of things that depend on you believing what he says. They depend on you freaking out and being like, oh my God, I'm doing all these horrible things to my body. I had no idea. Now I need to figure out all the good things to do to my body. How do I undo all the damage that I've done to my body by eating these deadly carbohydrates? Well, you turn to somebody like Dr. Hyman, who sells books. So many supplements, I can't even frickin' name them all. Subscription services where you can sign up monthly and yearly to get all the information that you need to undo all the damage and save the lives of your loved ones and never feel like you're being chased by a tiger again. I understand that people need to make a living, and I'm not sitting here saying that people shouldn't be able to sell books and things like that, but this should be a huge red flag for you, especially when all of the other red flags are raised. There's actually somebody that I follow who does sell supplements, who normally that would be an absolute red flag for me. But this person doesn't raise any of the other red flags. So you have to sit and also consider how many red flags do they raise, and isn't enough for me to just say, And right now, in this instance, Dr. Hyman has raised all 4. You're out, buddy. 4 strikes, you're out. So overall, the lesson here is that trust no one. Yes, nutritional science is confusing as hell. It's very difficult to know who to trust and who to listen to, especially in this day and age. But even if you look at history, it seems like that's always been the situation. That's why I feel like it's very important that you have, some tools in your tool belt where you can listen to these people and make up your own mind about whether or not you should listen to them. I personally do choose to listen to experts and health professionals about all things health before I listen to an influencer, but I always maintain that same critical thought process no matter who it is. Nobody is above the law. Basically, health professionals and experts are humans just like anyone else. They can succumb to bias, whether they understand that they're doing it or not. We're human. It's difficult to keep that in check, but it is our duty as health professionals to try and hold ourselves accountable when we don't and fix things when they need to be fixed. Hopefully these 4 red flags will kind of narrow down that process for you and help you to determine in the future who you want to trust and who you want to listen to. And hopefully I don't set off those red flags. Hey, maybe you guys should use these red flags on me and see if I pass. That'd be really sad if I didn't though. Oh my God. But hey, I'm willing to admit, I'm willing to admit that I'm wrong and I need to change. So that's it. Good luck out there in the world. It's crazy out there. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Something. Can you say it again?
No, you weren't supposed to be listening. Yeah, that's right. Shmushmexa. Multiple. Ooh, my finger just cracked. When scientists were like, oh, just kidding, Pluto's not a planet, the only people who got pissed were Scorpios, okay? Nobody else cared. They were like, what? Whatever. I don't even remember Pluto. But when you tell somebody you can't eat eggs, and they don't eat those eggs because what you told them, but somebody's like, nope, just kidding, sorry, you could have been eating those the whole time. Oh my God, people lose their minds. They lose their freaking minds. I think I've been talking so long that like, it's like when you start falling down a hill, you know, it's just you pick up momentum and you can't stop. You gotta be willing to change. Changes. Changes. I am above the law. Do I have a squirty thing? I am above the law. What's that from? I have no idea what's going on. I'm just gonna eat a Bueno bar and call it a day.
This might answer your question. For Austin, Texas, an air quality alert is in effect until Friday, September 9th, 7 p.m.
How did I ask about air quality? I don't think so. God. And why isn't it showing the battery? And why is there a people icon? And why does it show that I'm running? I'm gonna kill everything.